policy of imperialism. Check out the statement here. The Negro would show himself unworthy. Check this out. The Negro would show, 1900, the Negro would show himself unworthy of the rights which he claims should he deny the same to a struggling people under another sky. And so what this brother was saying was that as black people in this country, we cannot support imperialism. We cannot support wars of aggression. We cannot support another people who are fighting against imperialism, and we're here fighting for our rights. He said if we go against a people in on another part of the world, under another sky, and they're fighting against imperialism, fighting against racism, and we're fighting too, then we forfeit our rights for justice. He said we don't deserve it. Pick up on that. We're an oppressed people. How are we going to go against another oppressed people? That's 1900, y'all. That's 1900. How can we, as an oppressed people, go against another oppressed people? By doing that, till we forfeit our rights to justice. That's 1900. That theme among black people would go right on up to modern times. Let me flash forward. Martin and Malcolm. Look at Martin and Malcolm at the end of their life. And look at how much they talk about imperialism. Dr. King would be in the pulpit talking to old black folks about imperialism, about empire. And Martin and Malcolm took the same position as this brother here in 1900. We have to take, as black people, an anti-imperialist position. And so what happens? You had the Vietnam War. In America, there was aggression. This is what Pastor was talking about. In America, war and aggression, they didn't take you out by the countries. They didn't take you out by the provinces. In America, war and aggression, they take you out by the millions. They killed millions. The Vietnam War, they killed 4 million. Uncle Sam got a building. Uncle Sam got a building. They killed 4 million people in the Vietnam War. The Vietnamese had been fighting the Japanese. They had been fighting the French. And then, of course, John Wayne. Wolfing, right? That kind of thing, right? And they went in there, and then the Vietnamese put our hurting on the United States. Malcolm was one of the first ones who spoke out against the war in Vietnam. Malcolm said it was an imperialist war. Malcolm said it's only a matter of time before they kicked out of there. Malcolm took an anti-imperialist position. An anti-imperialist position. America has been engaged in wars of aggression since 1492. Since 1492. But America becomes a so-called superpower after World War II. But they become imperialist power much earlier. Taking Hawaii in 1893 from the indigenous people in Hawaii, and then Cuba. This is like in the hood, y'all. Like he had one, he's selling a drug over here, he's selling a drug in this set, and that set, and that set, and this one becomes bigger than the other sets. So what he said, I want you to say. I want you to say. That's what country. That's what country. And so now America said we becoming big. Spain is weak. Spain owns Cuba. Spain owns the Philippines. Spain all that. Spain is weak. We can beat Spain. Let's fight Spain. I want your territory. And you took it. And the Philippines. So the United States has been in one war aggression after another. When the Panthers made this statement, the Panthers were taking an anti-imperialist position. We're not going to support your wars of aggression. And who was the main symbol of all that? Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, not getting good himself. Yeah. When Muhammad Ali came up, when Muhammad Ali took that, you know that they promised Muhammad Ali, the government came to Muhammad Ali and said, you ain't got to fight. They came to Muhammad Ali and said, you can just fight exhibition fights. Just fight different exhibition fights. You know, go to the army, fight an exhibition fight, you ain't gonna pick up a rifle. And do 15 months of that, you up. His advisors told him, hey, you should take it. Ali said, no. No. He said, because if I get in there, just doing exhibition fights, it's going to make people think I support this war. Malcolm said, I ain't got no quarrel. Muhammad Ali said, I ain't got no quarrel with Viet Cong. He didn't say no Viet Cong, they called me nigga. He said, I ain't got no quarrel with Viet Cong. Now check this out. I ain't got no quarrel with those Viet Congs. An anti-imperialist position. They're fighting fighting against imperialism. They fight against racism. I ain't fighting against them. I'm fighting against the same people they fighting against. You realize how dangerous it is for America to have that type of politics in their country? I ain't fighting them. I'm fighting you. And this was Muhammad Ali. Catch like 22 years old, 23 years old, like black youth. And black youth saw that. Now before that, Malcolm goes to all these different countries, y'all, and they treat Malcolm as if he was the head of his own country. You pick up on that? Malcolm was treated as if he was the head of his own country. He met with kings, he met with presidents, he met with prime ministers. They had like carpets for him, they had drivers for him. They dealt with him as if he was the leader of his own country. Who was he representing? The White House? No, us. He's representing us. Malcolm gets over there, and he tells the leaders over there, check this out. What's happening in America, what America's doing to y'all, that ain't us. We don't support it. We fight America too. Malcolm went to countries in Africa and Asia and told them that we are fighting America too. We're fighting against the empire too. We're just a domestic colony. You're a colony of America, we're a domestic colony. We're a colony inside America. And he told this to the different leaders there, in Africa and in Asia. Check this out. When Malcolm did that, Malcolm internationalized our struggle. That's what he meant. He meant, I'm going to different countries, I'm letting them know that we ain't down with this. We're not down with these wars of aggression. We don't support these wars of aggression. We know it's imperialism. We don't support it. That spread throughout Africa, that spread throughout Asia. And then, not long after, here comes Muhammad Ali. I ain't got no problem with Vietcong. Taking an anti-imperialist position. And then after that, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King comes out and talks about the Vietnam War. No, we shouldn't be over there. It's a war of aggression. We shouldn't be over there. So Martin Luther King takes the same position as Malcolm did, as the Black Panthers did. We don't support your war of aggression. This is imperialism. That is why, brothers and sisters, to this day, when they say Americans, we won't go to that part of the world, it is dangerous for Americans. They ain't talking about us. They're talking about Joe Plum. I'm telling you, there's no exaggeration. There's places we can go in the world, and like in Africa and Asia particularly, and we'll be respected because we black people from America. They don't want you to move. They just want you to think of the easy, the credit card. They don't want you to leave this country. Because the struggling people in the world, they don't associate us with America's war of aggression. Like that. You know the Vietcong, the Vietnam War? The Vietcong used to let some of the brothers go. Because in the jungles of Vietnam, they used to make the brothers go first. The brothers would go first, right? And the Vietcong be waiting, and they would see that they making the brothers go first, and they would let the brothers go through and wait for the rest of them to come. The Vietcong used to leave notes in the jungles. Black GI, Black GI. Here they call us Rooks. There they call them niggers. The Vietcong knew about Muhammad Ali. The Vietcong knew about Muhammad Ali saints. And there are numerous reports. The Vietcong took it easy on the brothers because they knew our situation. They knew it. There's reports of Ho Chi Minh, the leader of the Vietnam Revolution. He was in New York in the early 1900s, 1920s. And just here was his speaker, Marcus Garvey. Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, Marcus Garvey. Even though Mr. Marcus Garvey went back to Vietnam in waves of war of independence. There's a connection. Martin Malcolm was telling us, our earlier answers were telling us, there's a connection between us and other struggling people around the world. There's a connection. So now, as a result, we can go anywhere we want, y'all. We can go anywhere we want. The brothers and sisters will tell you from different parts of the world, they'll tell you, we got respect. We got respect. Because we're not associated with the war of aggression. The revolution in Iran, 1979, and they took over the embassy, the students took over the embassy, but they didn't tell y'all that they let the brothers go. They let the women go too. They let the brothers go. You know why they let the brothers go? In that revolution in Iran, 79, you know why they let the brothers go? Because they studied them. They studied our movement. They studied us. This one brother, one Iranian brother, he told me, he said, you know what you black people need? I said, said, you need another leader like Malcom X. I said,